Okay, last class we started our discussion with our condition checking statements. Let's continue with that one. So first we'll have the backup class, we'll have it. We'll continue with the backup class. We'll take the form design we'll talk about, and then we'll come back to the condition checking statements. Little later we'll come back to it, right? Okay. So why do we use the forms for us? What is the use of the forms means? So generally we'll be using forms whenever you want to get some data from the user, right? So whenever I want some data to be written, or sorry, a data to be read from the user, some whatever maybe the user is, whatever maybe the type of data is, you want to have it. So we can to read that data. For example, let us say we are having what you call some application form is there for me. I'm going to have an application form. Like for example, when I talk about the application form, maybe it's a student joining in a college. So he fills the student when he's going to join in a college, right? What the student will do, they'll be filling some form. Or another application, let's say the student is writing an exam. Okay, so they are going to write the exam. So they're writing an exam. So when you're going to write the exam, you'll be asked to fill up the form there. So what is that form? That what are these in which year? What is the year for which you're going to apply the exam, and all that details they'll ask you. So that is one application form for you, right? Or you may also have the application forms like the biodata form. Okay, we talk about the biodata form. So biodata form is also one kind of form for us. Okay, so I have a biodata form. This is also a kind of form where we can get the data of the user. Anything that you want to get the data from the user, we can make use of the forms can be used, right? Or we'll talk about the yesterday's example. So for I want to read two numbers. I want to read two numbers I want to read from the user. So then when I wanted to read two numbers from user, then what I have done, I have designed a form for it. Okay, I have designed a form we have designed. So there we talked about a form design. So there we discussed what should be the elements that should be there for me in my form and all. We have discussed it. When we talk about the form design, we can have different types of elements can be there for us in the form for us. Now, what are the different types of elements that we can have in the form is? So we say types of elements. So we call it as the types of elements, or we also call them as controls, you call them. So you call it as type of elements, or what you call the type of controls, or we can also call them as objects. So what is the type of object that you want to place onto your screen? Now, for example, I say that a text box control. Okay, we have a text box, we have it. So we have a password field is there, right? Or I have a checkbox, I want to have it, or I have a radio. So radio button. Okay, or I may have a list control, or I have a combo control, what you call combo box, we call it as, right? Or I may have a simple button is going to be there. So like this, different types of controls will be having it, or what you call different types of elements will be having it. Now, when I say that these elements, how we define these elements means almost all the elements are defined by using a tag called input tag. So we have a tag called input tag, we are going to have it. So we use this tag, okay, and along with some attributes we'll be using it, right? So what are the attributes that will be using it for my input tag means? So for example, let us say how the syntax goes for the input tag. Input tag, so you'll be writing type is equal to the type of control, or what you call the type of element. What is the type of that element that you want to define? Generally we'll have the name attribute. Okay, then we have the id attribute is going to be there. Id is equal to id of that particular control. What is that id that you want to have it? Then most of the controls will have the properties like size and all will be there. That is going to be specific for control, specific to control, it differs from it. But when you talk about generalized, this is how it's going to be generalized. Now when you say type of element, so when you say type of, okay, let us say I call the type of elements called text box, I'm calling it. So text box, if I want to have it, then we'll say type is equal to text, will be writing it. Okay, we'll be writing type is equal to text, will be writing it. If I want to have a password field, I want to have it. If I want to read the passwords, then we'll write type is equal to password, will be writing it. Let's say, for example, you want to define a checkbox, you want to define. So we call it as type is equal to checkbox, will be writing it. If you want to define a radio control, you want to have it, what you call a radio button, you want to have it. We'll discuss what are all these radio buttons and all that. So because you are new to the form designs and all, so we'll discuss that. So we'll be writing type is equal to radio. Then if I want to design a button, I want to design. So when I want a normal button to be designed, then we'll be writing type is equal to button, will be writing it. Now, if I want to define a reset button, we call it as, okay. So I want to have a reset button has to be defined. Then I'll be writing type is equal to reset, I'll be writing it. If I want to define a submit button, then so we'll be defining type is equal to submit, will be writing it. Okay, almost all the controls are going to be having with the type options there. Then there are some controls are there, like for example, I have a combo box, okay, or a list control is there. So when I want to define these, we'll be using the tag called select tag, will be using it. We'll be using a tag called select tag, will be using it. Select tag, okay, we have the opening, closing, everything is going to be there for us. Okay, so then we have the select tag, opening, closing will be there. Then so in between these select tags, we'll be having an options will be there. So option will be writing value. We'll discuss one by one. So then what is that you want to have a display? So display data, what is it that you'll be writing it? So option. So like this multiple you'll be defining it. For both you'll be doing the same thing. We have a control is there where I want to enter multiple lines of data I want to enter. So I want to enter multiple lines of data I want to enter. In this case, we are going to use a control called text area. We are going to use a control. Right? We'll be using a control called text area. We have one more thing, what you call, you will be writing, let's say upload button, I want to have it. I want to have the upload files. I want to have it. Then, so what you can do, you can say input type is equal to file, you'll be defining it. So that defines the type for me. So what you call upload files. We'll discuss one by one, we'll discuss what are all these controls are going to be there. Now, let's see what this text box control is all about. Now, the last class we have seen that, I'll go to the web form. Okay, sorry, to my browser. I'm just opening my screen there. So C2, I'm opening it. Now, this control where you are typing some data, no, it's called a text box. It's called a text box where you're going to type some data there. Understood? Now, this is called a text box where I'm going to type some data. Now, this is the button for me. It's a normal button. So when I click on this one, it's going to do some calculations, going to do for me. That's what we have done it yesterday. We have done that. Okay. I think we have gone about the biggest of some of, sorry, this message should have been changed from some of the numbers to biggest, right? Okay, that is going to find out me the biggest of those two numbers. Okay, now this we should have changed the message there. We are not changing, no issues in that. Okay, we'll talk about them later. Now I'm having a button, is this kind of button I want to design. So when I want to design this button, so we'll be writing input type is equal to button, will be writing it. See, like this, input type is equal to button, I'm writing it. Now I want to have a text element. So when I want to have a text element, so then what I did, I've used input type is equal to text, and then I have defined the size, name, ID attributes, I have defined it. Now remember, whatever the data that you're typing in a text box, so that is written by a property, what you call value property. So that's what we done it. So here what we have done. So we have used the value property, we have used it for the control. When I use the value property of my control, it is going to return me the value of that particular control for me. For example, I'm writing document object dot get element by ID of n1 I given. So then what is going to happen? It's going to give me the data that is there for me in this object called n1. That is the control for which you have defined the ID as n1. From that, it is going to return me the data there for us. Yeah. So okay, fine. This should have been the biggest number for me. So we should have had it as biggest. Fine. I'll just save it, refresh the page. Now, okay. So you can see now the message on the bottom is biggest there. So it's going to give me the biggest of those two numbers. That's going to be right. Now, when I want to have a text control, like where I'm going to have some data to be entered, so then what you can do, you can make use of something called input type is equal to text will be writing it. Like this button, you want to have it, you can say input type is equal to button will be defining. Now, what this password field for me means, password field is one which hides the data that you are typing. For example, I'm typing this number, okay, 4, 5, 6, and all this, some numbers I'm typing in. So these numbers will not be visible to the user. So that is called password field. For example, so let us say that here I am writing, so input type is equal to, instead of writing text, I'll write it as password there. So I'll write it as password. Then, so let's refresh. Then now you see when I'm typing it, it's not visible for me anything there. It's the data that we are typing has been hidden here. So this is called a password field, right? Okay. So like this, with the data is going to be hidden for us in case of the password field for us. That is, when you talk about this input type is equal to text, this allows us to have the freestyle text. Okay. So you can have some text can be typed in. So whatever the text you wanted, any text, only single line of text it is. So it will allow me to type only single line. So any single line of text if you want to use it, you can make use of this one. Now, what about my password field? When I'm using this password field, this will allow me to type the data, but the data is hidden for the user. Okay, data typed by user is hidden. Okay, it will not be shown. That is going to show me the dot symbol there. Now, what is this radio button and what is this check boxes? So, for example, let us say I'm having a right click, I'm using it on my properties, I mean on my taskbar. Okay, I'm just opening my taskbar settings, I'm opening it. Now you see this kind of control which you're having, what you call on off, you're seeing it, right? So this is generally, it is called the radio buttons, it is called for me. So these are called the radio button, which will be having the on off, the options like on off. But here it's going to show me slightly different. That is, the look and feel will be different for me. What you call the UI, the look it should be having is going to be slightly different. Then how do I get this kind of controls? Means when I want this kind of controls I want to display. So then we'll be using what you call the CSS, will be making use of it. Then using the CSS, we'll be changing the look and feel of your web page completely. We can change it. Okay, let's not talk about that right now. So we'll talk about this, the form design we'll talk about. So this is one kind of form where you're going to accept some data. It's going to be accepted from the user. So like this, right? Okay. So this is what you call the radio button, it is called. So similarly, we have another option, what you call a checkbox. So what is this checkbox means? Checkbox is something, so where it will allow you to select the option or deselect the option. Now remember, in case of the radio buttons, we have only on off options are going to be there. Either the option is on or the option is off for me. Similarly, when I talk about my checkboxes also, there will be option as on or off only. But what is the difference between a checkbox and a radio button for me means, when I talk about my radio button, so it will allow me to have only one selection from a group. For example, I'm having 3 or 4 options are going to be there. From 3 to 4 options, it will allow me to select only one option. It will allow me to select for me. So that is called radio button. So if I'm going to use checkboxes, checkboxes will allow me to have multiple controls can be selected. Multiple options can be selected by using the checkbox for us. Right? Okay, fine. Let me check. Okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. So radio button checkboxes. Buttons, just we have seen that how it's going to be acting as a button. So this is the button. So there is another type of button. So what you call the reset button. So what is this reset button means? A reset button is one which will help me to clear the data that I have entered into my form. So this helps me to clear the data. Clear the data entered in form format. For example, let me go to the program now. So here what I am doing is, so next to this one, so I want to have one button has to be there. So what is that button that I want to have? I'll say input type is equal to reset. I'll be writing. Okay. And then I say value is equal to, so I'll just give the value as clear here. Then I'm not writing anything like on click and all are not required for this. So I'm just removing all these things. Okay. Fine. Next to that, okay, fine. Let me go back to my screen. I'll just refresh my page. Now you can see that there is a clear option there, right? No, okay, I'm typing two numbers. Then I said clear there. So automatically what happened, the data that you're making, entering into the form, that will be cleared and then it will be reset into the original screen that what you're going to see. So initially when you started your application, so what is the screen that you are seeing it? Now you'll see the same screen will be seeing it when I'm using the clear button. So when I'm using this normal button, if I'm using it, then what will happen? So internally, it will allow me to do some kind of activity can be done. Okay, or you can trigger the activity. So by clicking on an option called the biggest there. So when I click on the option called the biggest, then internally, okay, you can do some coding can be written. I mean, you can call some coding or something like that. You can do it, and you can get the thing done. Now we have one more thing. So what do you call it as input type is equal to submit. We are having it. So when I say submit, it's also going to do me the actions. It's going to do it for me. But what will happen is when you talk about the submit button. So when this button is pressed, okay. So when you press this kind of button, what do you call the submit button, then what happens is it sends the data. Okay, it sends the data to the server application. Understood what I'm telling? It sends the data to the server application or to the server program. So you call it as an application or you call it as a program. Understood? What is that? The data that is there for me in my form, the data filled by the user. Okay, by the user is sent to the server application. Okay, what do you call the server side program? Right? Now, let us not worry a lot about this one. We'll talk about this one later. Again, we'll be talking about these things. Okay. Give me a minute. So, based upon our requirement, so we'll be defining different types of controls that will be defining it. For example, మనం యూజర్ ఏదైనా ఒక నేమ్ కానివ్వండి, పేరు వాట్ ఎవర్ కాల్ నేమ్ ఆర్ సమ్ నంబర్ లాంటివి ఏదైనా మనం టైప్ చేయాలి ఇట్లా అంటే, సో విల్ మేక్ యూస్ ఆఫ్ టెక్స్ట్ బాక్స్. Okay. We can also make use of the password type. We can make use of it. So when ఇప్పుడు ఏదైనా డేటా ఎంటర్ చేస్తున్నారు దట్ ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు షో టు ద యూజర్కి మనం డేటాని చూపించకూడదు అనుకుంటున్నాం. సో అలాంటప్పుడు యూ కెన్ మేక్ యూస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇన్పుట్ టైప్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు password. So let's say you have a checkbox is going to be there. So when I use this checkbox now, so I have multiple options are there. For example, let us say we want to user to select the options. Like for example, now I wanted to know that what are the languages that the user knows. Spoken languages we call it as. So మాట్లాడేటువంటి languages ఏమేమి తెలుసు user can తెలుసుకోవాలనుకోండి. So then what I do is I'll design a screen now. So where user may be knowing more than one language, right? So user ఒకటి కంటే ఎక్కువ తెలిసి ఉంటుందండి లేదా ఒకటే తెలిసి ఉంటుందా లాంగ్వేజ్? What we talk about the spoken languages. స్పోకన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఒకటే తెలిసి ఉంటుందా ఒకటి కంటే ఎక్కువ తెలిసి ఉంటుందండి? స్పోకన్ అంటే మాట్లాడే లాంగ్వేజెస్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్.
More than one.
So more than one ఉంటుంది. So when I want the more than one option to be selected by the user, అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం మనం? సో చెక్ బాక్స్ లాంటివి క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం మనం. ఆర్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం ఏమైతే డేటా ఉందో యూజర్ మనకు ఒక ఆప్షన్ సెలెక్ట్ చేయాలి అనుకోండి. సో ఓన్లీ వన్ ఆప్షన్ మనకు సెలెక్ట్ చేయాలి. సో జనరలీ విల్ టాక్ అబౌట్ ఓన్లీ వన్ ఆప్షన్. లెట్ us say we want to know what is the highest qualification of the user. యూజర్ కి హైయెస్ట్ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ ఏంటి అనేది మనం తెలుసుకోవాలనుకోండి. అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం మనం? హైయెస్ట్ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ అన్నప్పుడు అతనికి బీటెక్ ఎంటెక్ ఉంటుందండి, లేదా ఎంటెక్ అని చెప్తామా మనం? ఎంటెక్ అని చెప్తాం మనం. లెట్స్ సే హైయెస్ట్ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ ఎదర్ యు గో ఫర్ ది ఎంటెక్ ఆర్ లేదు మీరు ఎంటెక్ చేయలేదు అంటే బీటెక్ అని చెప్తాం మనం. అంతేకాని ఎంటెక్ బీటెక్ రెండు ఉండదు కదా. జనరల్లీ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ బోత్. So when you say highest qualification, we'll have either one of them will be there. Either you call it as BTech or you call it as MTech there. So that is how. So when I want the user to select only one option to be selected, then I'll be using a radio button. Or so let us say that I want the user to select the payment option. So manaku general ga manam payment options chusintam manam. So I want to use the payment option as to be used. Then so generally what we do, so we allow the user to pay either using a credit card or you'll be asking the user to pay it by using your okay. Now let us say I want to allow the user to select the option for making a payment option. So generally we see that either user will be selecting a credit card or debit card option, will be using it for payment. So either only one will be using it. We will not say go for both credit card, debit card, cash, all that will not allow the user to do it. We'll ask the user to select only one option. In such a case, I'll be using a radio button. Sometimes what we do is the people like Amazon and all these things, people what they do is they have Amazon Pay is going to be there. Now let us say that you have some amount is there in the wallet, and in addition to that you want to use your credit card also, you want to use a radio, you want to use your debit card also, you want to use it. Then what they do, they'll give a checkbox indicating me what, yes, I want to select my Amazon Pay as well as the remaining balance. Okay, I want to use it from my credit card or debit card, you want to use it. You'll be selecting both the options. In such a case, it depends upon the options that what you're designing it, how you want the screen to be designed. So it is all left to you that how you are going to design the screens, right? Screen designing అనేది సో యూజ్ మనం డిజైన్ చేస్తాం మనం. సో ఎలాంటి స్క్రీన్స్ కావాలి మనకు అనేటువంటిది మనం డిజైన్ చేస్తాం మనం. సో దట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఆల్వేస్ మ్యూచువల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ బిట్వీన్ యూ అండ్ యువర్ క్లయింట్. క్లయింట్ అంటే ఎవరికైతే మీరు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ స్క్రీన్స్ డిజైన్ చేస్తున్నారో, so వాళ్ళతో you will be interacting with them and then you do the design work. Okay, right, fine, yeah. We talk about the buttons. These buttons, simple buttons, will be using it whenever I want to do some actions, I want to do it, then you'll be using what you call buttons. We can also have another one, what you call the reset button can also be used. But reset button, what it does is it's going to clear the data that you are typed in the form. Form lo meer emaythe data type chesintaro adi emothundi data manaku clear అయిపోతుంది when I'm going to use the reset button. Then I have a submit button. Submit button ఏమవుతుంది అంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ let us say you are having a Gmail అనుకోండి, Gmail అకౌంట్ ఉంది. సో Gmail అకౌంట్ లో మీరు లాగిన్ అవుతున్నారు, యు ఆర్ టైపింగ్ యువర్ క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ టైప్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఏంటి మీ యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ టైప్ చేసిన తర్వాత సో యూ విల్ క్లిక్ ఆన్ దిస్ బటన్ కాల్డ్ సైన్ ఇన్ బటన్ ఆర్ లాగిన్ బటన్ క్లిక్ చేస్తారు. సో వెన్ యూ క్లిక్ ఆన్ దట్ వన్ ఏమవుతుంది, మీరు ఏమైతే క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఇచ్చారో మీ యూజర్ ఐడి పాస్వర్డ్ ఏమైతే మీరు ఇచ్చారో that data is going to be sent to the server program. It is going to be sent, the data is going to be sent to the server, and then at the server it is going to check, okay, what the data that you are given is okay or not. If the data is okay, right, then what will happen is it's going to fetch me the data from my database or whatever it is. When I'm going to log in using my Gmail, then what will happen, it will be getting the data from your all your mails will be displayed. Or let us say that you have some other application is going to be there, so where you are filling it. Now let us say that I'm working for some XYZ company I'm working. So in my company what I'm doing is I'm going to have a login screen is going to be there. So once I say a key in my details, right, now user ID ఏంటి పాస్వర్డ్ ఏంటి టైప్ చేసిన తర్వాత సబ్మిట్ అనే బటన్ మీద క్లిక్ చేస్తాం అనుకోండి, ఆ వాటి లాగిన్ అనే బటన్ మీద క్లిక్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, మనం ఇచ్చినటువంటి యూజర్ క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ ఏమైతే ఉన్నాయో అది కరెక్టా రాంగ్ అని వ్యాలిడేట్ చేసుకుంటుంది. వ్యాలిడేట్ చేసుకొని మనకు మన ఫర్దర్ యాక్షన్స్ ని అలౌ చేస్తుంది అనమాట. So we have seen these examples. We have seen a lot many applications. We have seen like maybe you're talking about the Amazon. Also, they do the same thing. Login options they're having. Flipkart they have it. Okay, like that, there are different types of applications where you talk about the submit buttons. Generally, this submit button, what will happen is these submit buttons will allow the user to type the data. Oh, sorry, the form design, whatever you've done it, in that you type the data, and then when I click on the submit button, the data that I have typed in my form that will be given to the server application for us. When we click on the submit button, remember when I'm clicking on the normal button, if I'm clicking, the data is not submitted to the server side application or to the server side program. The data is will be there only. Okay, so able to understand what I'm telling, right? So when I'm going to have a normal button, the data will not be sent to the server application. It's not going to be sent, but the data remains the same thing when I'm going to have a normal button. But when I'm having a reset button is going to be there. So మనం ఏమైతే డేటా టైప్ చేసామో ఆ టైప్ చేసిన డేటా మనకు క్లియర్ అయిపోయి so we'll get the original form, that is the clean form, whatever the form designing you started, the same form you'll get back. Okay, like that. So that's how you'll be using the reset button. Reset button and submit buttons will be using it. Now here, when you talk about the text boxes, now we have in HTML5, that is in my HTML5 standards, we have different types of text boxes are there for me. So what are the different types of text boxes? Like for example, I'm having number. I can define the type as number. I can define. So that means when I'm defining type as number, it allows only numbers. So input type is equal to number అని ఇచ్చామనుకోండి ఏమవుతుంది numbers మాత్రమే allow చేస్తాం మనకు. Okay, so what we do, so we'll say number if I want to have it. So what we'll be writing, so type is equal to number. I'll be writing. So when I say type is equal to number, it allows only numbers. When I say type is equal to text, it allows numbers, alphabets, special symbols, everything it will be allowing it. When I say type is equal to number, it will not allow me to have the alphabets. Okay, it will not allow me. It will have only numerical data will be allowed for me when I'm going to have the input type is equal to number. Then we can also have what you call email. So input type is equal to email. So what I'm doing is I'm writing type is equal to email. I'm writing it. When I say input type is equal to email, so this allows you to type the email IDs. This allows you to have the email IDs. Okay, so that is the data in email format. Okay, it checks the data is going to be there for me in my email format or not. Now let us say that I'm writing input type is equal to URL. If I'm writing, okay, that is I'll say input type is equal to URL. Then what will happen? The data that will allow me to type the data is going to be verified it's an URL format or not. So when you say URL format, like for example, let us say that you have like this http:// okay, so like human.org, right? Or you may be giving like http:// okay, India dot sorry india.gov.in, like this, something like this. We have the URLs are going to be there. So whereas when we talk about the emails, there may be something like abc@abc.com, like this, something like this. These formats are going to be verified for me when I'm going to use the input types, right? We'll discuss, we'll take the example and we'll talk more about that one. Okay, that's it. For the input type is equal to maybe URL you're going to have it, or it's an email, or it is number for me, right? Yeah. Okay, when I'm talking, okay, let's talk about the other controls that we are talking about. Now we have the input type is equal to file, we have it. So this designs and upload, file upload button, it's going to design for me. So file upload button, is displayed for me. Okay. Right, we'll discuss that. We'll get back to that in a few seconds. We'll talk about that. So when I talk about my select, so select, it's going to create the combo box or list box. Both are going to be created for me. Now, how do I create the combo box and how will I create the checkbox? I mean, list box. We'll discuss one by one. Only thing is we have an option called size option is going to be there. So when I say size, it is going to open the list for me. When I'm not giving the size option, then the options are going to be hidden for me. That is, the data that you are typing in, that will not be made visible. All the data will not be there. What you call the options will not be shown to the user. Only one option is going to be shown to the user. In case of a combo box, in case of a list box, multiple options will be shown to the user for us. So that's where you have the basic difference between a combo box and list box. And remember, combo box will allow you to select only one from a given list of options, but whereas list box will allow me to select multiple options from a given set of options for us. We'll take the examples and we'll discuss more on that one by one and talk about them. And if you want some data to be entered in more than one line, so example, let us say that you have the address. So when you talk about the address, generally address will be in more than one line. Now this, I want to get the addresses, then I'll be using a text box. Or let us say you are just generating an application, okay, where you want to read the memo. You want to give some memos or something like that. Or you want to have some, like what you call, some message you want to have it. For example, let us say when you talk about your email, you talk about. So you are typing your email, that's you are composing your email now. When I'm composing my email, the data, the email I'll be typing maybe one line or more than one line I'm typing it. So when I'm going to use for more than one line, then it's better to use what you call text area. It's going to be used for us, right? So this is something about the forms design. Yeah. So you have any questions, you can ask me. So if you don't have anything, yes. Any questions, please? Why no questions today? Maybe because of, okay, fine. Yeah.
బ్యాకప్ క్లాస్ కదా సార్ అందుకే
Okay, okay,
ఆల్రెడీ
fine.
ఫార్మ్స్ కదా.
Okay, right. Now, you understood the basic form design, right? Forms ఎలా డిజైన్ చేయాలనేది మీకు అర్థమైంది. ఓకే, ఏమేం కంట్రోల్స్ యూస్ చేస్తాం అనేది you understood that. Now we'll talk about this one again. We'll have one more backup class. We'll have it. So where we'll discuss more about the forms there. Okay. Yeah. Now let's get back to the previous class. Last class, what I was telling you is I was telling you about the JavaScript conditions. I was telling you about the conditions. Now, so what is this conditions means? I just giving you an example. I gave it. So, like for example, I'm having it's raining. Okay. So when it is raining, what you have to do? So if it is not raining, what you have to do? So that is what you call the conditions we call it as. Right. When I want to have the condition checking, so then we are going to use the control structures. What you call them as control structure, right? You call them as control structures, okay? Or you call them as, sorry, we call them as a control structures, or you call them as condition checking statements, you call it as. So we also call them as condition checking statements or commands. Okay, we call them as a condition checking statements or control structures, you call them as. Now, basically, when you talk about the condition checking statements, there are two different types of condition checking statements we have it. So what are the two types we are having is, the first one is if, that which you have seen. The second one is called switch. We have one is called if, other one is called switch. Two different types of condition checking statements are there, right? Okay. So based upon your requirement, either you can make it the if or you can make it of your switch. Now, when you talk about the if, we have different syntaxes or different forms of if is there for me. Okay, different forms you're having, what you call different syntaxes are going to be there. So I have a simple if. So simple if is what only I have if followed with the condition. I have simple condition will be there, and then I have a true statement. Now, if you have multiple statements are there following the if, then what we do is, so we use if, then we open the flower braces, and then we will be writing multiple statements. So we have more than one statement is there, you'll be putting them into flower braces. Now here what we are done, we are not using else part, we are not used. Now, if I want to have the else part, that is the false thing, what you want to do it. When the condition is false, what you want to do, it. Then, so here you say, if true statement, else, that is when the condition is false. When my condition is going to be false, what I want to do it, then I'll be writing the false statement. Okay, like, so the similar thing, if I have multiple statements are there, then what we do, so we'll use false statements. We have the statements will be enclosing them into the flower braces. So flower braces ఎప్పుడు యూస్ చేస్తామంటే more than one statement ఏదైనా ఉందనుకో. Okay, so I want to have the condition checking statements to be there. So when I want to have the condition checking statements, then we have two different types of condition checking statements are there. So one is called a if, other one is called switch. These two are the condition checking statements, or we also call them as control structures, we call them. Okay, so control structure, why they are called the control structures? They are called the control structures because they change the normal flow of program, right? Generally what will happen is, whenever you are writing a program, okay, or whenever you are writing a script, in the script you are writing some commands are going to be there. So the commands, whatever we are writing, those commands will be executed one by one. For example, so last class what we did is, in the last session, so we have defined set of commands here. So we have defined, okay, this parse int one command, parse int another command. So when I'm executing this, what happens, it's going to execute one after the another. The first statement, this is going to be executed in the line number 29, then line number 19, and then it is going to execute the statement in line number 20, it's going to execute. That is, first one is executed, then second one is executed. Like that, if you're writing, so let us say A, B, C, D, you're writing it, then what will happen, all these one by one is going to be executed. But whereas when you talk about this if there, we know that either the if this, that is the statement which is there for me in line number 22, that is going to be executed, or it is going to execute the statement what I am writing in my line number 24. That means I'm having a condition there. Based upon the condition, either it is going to execute the statement which is there in line number 22, or it is going to execute the statement which is there in my line number 24. Which statement is going to be executed? That depends upon the condition here. ఇక్కడ మనం ఏమైతే కండిషన్ ఇచ్చామో ఆ కండిషన్ ని బట్టి, కండిషన్ ట్రూ అయింది అనుకోండి, సో లైన్ నెంబర్ 22 ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతుంది. కండిషన్ ఫాల్స్ అయింది అనుకోండి, line number 24 లోనే executed. So that means only one among these two is going to be executed, but not both the two. Understood? So that's why they are called control structures. They change the normal flow of program, or what you call the normal execution of your program will be changing it when I'm going to use the control structures. So why we are going to use the control, why they are called the control structures? They'll change the normal execution of the program, they are going to change. That means they'll not allow you to execute all the statements. Depends upon either the condition is true or false. That means if the condition is going to be true, it is going to execute the statement following the if. If the condition is going to be false, then it is going to execute the statement following the else part. Now here, if I want multiple statements to be executed, then what we are going to do, we are going to put them into the flower braces like this. Otherwise, if I'm having only one statement is there, okay, so if I'm having only one statement is there also, we can put into flower brace. For example, so here I can have the flower brace, no problem there. Okay, so here also I have a flower brace. So it is our wish, if I'm having a single statement is going to be there. Using the flower brace is going to be optional for me. If only one statement is there, then it is okay. If it is only one statement, no need to worry about the flower braces. If you are having multiple statements are going to be there, then you need to think of the flower braces. Remember these two these two flower braces indicate the opening and the closing, and these two indicate the opening and closing for us. Now, initially, generally what will happen is when you are in the learning stage of this one, if all that, you'll have slight confusion will be there. Okay, as you learn things, you'll be understanding much better. So how you going to use these flower braces and all that. Yeah, any questions? Any questions you have? Right. Now this if, right, we have simple if we are writing if and then else I am writing. This if else we can what? We can have the nesting can be done, or we can form a ladder like thing we can have it. So we call it as if else if ladder you call it as. That means you're framing a ladder like thing. So by using the if else conditions, that is how we are going to have it. I'll just write the shortcut C1. So if condition 1, so some statement you want to have it, statement I call it as 1 there. Now else if condition 2, if some other condition, then so we are going to have some other statement, statement 2 I'm going to have it. Now else one more condition I would like to have, if third condition, then so I like to have statement 3 I'm writing it. Then if none of them are satisfying, then I'll write the else part, else some statement. Okay, you let's call it statement number 4, we call it. Right now here what we are doing, we are forming a ladder like thing. If else else like that, a ladder like thing it's going to form for us. So this is what we call if else ladder, we call it as. Based upon our requirement, you'll be writing it. Now we also have if, or what you call nested if, sorry. So we call it as nested if. What is this nested if? Nested if means we are writing an if inside another if, right? So we write an if inside another if, it's called nested if, call it as, right? This is called the nested if. How? Let's say example like this. If I'm having some condition is going to be there. So once the condition is going to be satisfied, I'll write one more condition inside this. Okay, C2 I'm writing it, one more condition. So then some statement. Okay. Else some statement. Sorry. Understand what I'm telling? So if one condition, do something. If some other condition, do something. So here I'm writing the if, inside one if I'm writing one more if. Else, okay, you can write the else part there like this. So this is called the nested if, we call it as. The above one, so this one if else if else if else if, this is called the if else ladder, we call it as. Okay, if else if ladder, that is we are going to form a chain like thing, we are going to form it here. Better word is not the chain there, we form like a ladder like thing. So connectivity is going to be there between this and this, like that the connectivity is going to be there. Now let us see one example where I'll be using them. For example, let us say you have been asked to design a simple application is there. So I need to design an application or some code I need to write in my application. So what is that code that you are going to ask to do it? Now, let us say that I'm writing a sales, okay, application, or let's say we better use a word called supermarket application. I'm writing a supermarket application. I'm going to do it. I'm designing the supermarket application. So when I talk about my supermarket application, you might have seen in most of the supermarkets, you might have seen that, or you talk about nowadays the Flipkart and these people, what they are doing is they want to have more sales, they want to do it. So can you tell me how they are doing the more sales? So any idea how the sales have been increasing these people nowadays?
Offer, sir.
Okay, they say that you buy one product, right? Rate is okay, normal X. They say you buy two products, the same product you buy two quantity you buy. So they say that you'll get the rate minus 5% discount, they'll say. They'll be giving the 5% discount, they'll be giving it. So what I do? So to get the discount, I'll purchase one more product also I'll purchase. Yes or no? You understand what I'm telling? See, they'll give the option like
Yes,
this.
sir.
You buy one product, you are buying it. The rate is going to be X for me. Now, if you buy two products, the same product you are buying two quantity, then they say what? Rate X, I'll be giving 5% discount on the complete amount, I'll be giving you the discount, right? So I'll be giving 5% discount there like this. Or what they want to do, you buy three, you buy it. Okay, like this series of conditions they are going to have it. Okay, the rate X, okay, now whatever may be the amount you're having it. So whatever the amount you get. So in this amount, I'll give, okay, they call it as, let's say I'll give 6% discount, I'll be giving it like this. Understand what I'm telling? So like this, I'm having some series of conditions are going to be there. I want to do it. Then what I'm doing is I'm writing the if else, if else, if else, if else, I'll be writing it. Or let us say that we are designing an application for the electricity bill. Okay, now we are going to have the electricity bill in there. We are writing the application for the electricity billing. We know that in case of the electricity billing also what they do. So they have some what you call slabs are going to be there. You call them as slabs. For example, your consumption. So if your consumption is between 0 to 50 units you are going to consume, then they say that the billing unit, okay, so what you call this rate per unit, the RPU, what you call the rate per unit, let us say I'll take some arbitrary value, so rupees 2 rupees 75 paise they call it as. Fine. Now they say what the same people they say is what if your consumption is between 51 units and 100 units, then I'll increase the price there. So instead of saying 2 rupees, you say, okay, let us say 3 rupees 15 paise you are saying. Understood? You would have seen that in most of the, generally what will happen is whenever the consumption is going to be more, then automatically the bill is going to be increasing for me. How the bill is going to be increasing? Because of this kind of condition they have placed. If your consumption is between 0 to 50, what is the rate you are going to charge? And if it is between 51 to 100, what is the units? And then now let us say that they'll have one more condition. So 101 to, okay, I'll say 200. So then I'll say it's going to be something around 4 rupees 15 paise, I'll make it something like this. Now this series of conditions are going to be there, all right? We have the set of conditions are going to be checked. So manam this set of conditions I want to have it. Then what I do is I'll use this kind of concept, what you call if else ladder, I'll be writing it. We'll take one more example, we'll take. So let's say for example, now you want to find out the grades of a student. Okay, so student grades you want to find out. So how do you find the grades? So grades ante enti. So let's say you are going to talk about first class, second class, right? Second class, third class, right? Fail. Oh, let me add one more to this. Ela find out just Mandi. So any idea how to find out? So you call it as distinction or A plus. Okay, let's say this is A plus A. Okay, right. Like this, I want to have the conditions, series of grades I want to have it. Then generally these grades, what they do, they define based on the marks, right? Grades are going to be defined based on total mark. So based upon the total marks, these grades are going to be defined, right? Maybe let us say, I say that now my total is going to be R. To have the better understanding of things, what I do is instead of total, I'll take it as average. Okay, so based on the average value. Now what I say is if the average is going to be, okay, I'll write a shortcut there. Okay, average is above 75, we call it as A plus. Now we say that if the average value is above 60, I want to say it as A grade. Now if the average value, the average value is above 50, okay, then we say it's a first class. Then like this, if the average value is going to be above 40, so I say it's a third class. Okay, fine, no issues with that. If the average value is above 35, okay, so I'll say it as third class. Now for all this, if all the average is less than 35, then I say it as fail there, right? Understood what I'm telling? So it is less than 35. I say it's a fail there. That's all how the grades are going to be calculated for me. So for that one, so what I'm doing is I'll make use of series of conditions I'm going to have it. So what you call them as we'll be using if else conditions will be using it. Understood? So any questions over here? So yeah, any condition, any questions? Anything that you're not understood? Anything that you're not understood?
No, sir.
Okay, so you understood everything? No issues in that?
No, sir.
No means
I have understood, sir.
okay, fine, nothing like that. Okay, now let us see one small application. We'll try to have it. So what is that application I want to have now? So we want to design an application. You call it as application or you call it as a user interface. We call it as the user interface. User interface. User interface and screen. So that is we want to have the screen has to be designed. Okay, we want a screen to be designed. What is the use of this particular screen? We are using it now. We will use a screen to be designed where we get this sales information. Okay, sales information manaku enter cheyali. So when you say sales information, what are the things that you want to have it? Okati, product name. Sorry. What is the name of the product that you are going to sell? Okay, then what I wanted, I want to have some product code or whatever you call it as code and all that stuff. So let's not worry about things, how to automate things right now. Automation ante automatic don't worry about that stuff. For example, మీరు ఒక సూపర్ మార్కెట్కి వెళ్ళారనుకోండి, సూపర్ మార్కెట్కి వెళ్ళి మీరు ఏం చేస్తారండి, ప్రోడక్ట్స్ అన్ని కొనుక్కొని మీరు వెళ్తారు, కౌంటర్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్తారు, రైట్? You'll go to the counter after purchasing all the products, whatever you want, the products you wanted, you select all them and then you go to the counter. What the person will do there? Have you seen what the person will do? No, nobody has seen what the person will be sitting in the billing counter will be doing. He does nothing.
You scan the product code.
Right, very good. So whoever the salesperson was sitting there on the counter, he scans your product code and then automatically will get all the details. Okay, what is the product rate and all that. He will not be entering all these things, right? He just scans the product code automatically. All these things in your bill, you'll be seeing it, the rate and all that. You're going to see it in your bill. Okay, now we are not talking about that kind of automation. We are not going to talk about, because that takes a different coding and is required for that one. Now we'll talk about only simple application. We'll be talking where my user interface screen is very simple, where I need to manually key in the product name, I need to key in the product code. Okay, I need to key in the rate. Okay, what is the rate of the product, then what is the quantity of purchase I want to get it, and then I want to find out the amount to be, what is the amount that has to be paid. Only one product I'm talking about. So I'm talking about only one single product. So you'll enter the name, you'll enter the product code, you'll enter the quantity, and you'll enter the rate. Then so you have to calculate, the amount has to be calculated. Now when this amount has to be calculated, when I click the button. Okay, so మనం button ni click చేసినప్పుడు this calculation has to be done for me. Understood what I'm telling? the calculation of the amount has to be done when I click a button. That means, let's see how my screen looks like. Okay, so let's see the screen design part. I'll just use the P brush. Yeah, so okay, so let us say, so this is your screen. If this is your screen, now we want to enter the product name or code first. Let us take the code first. Then it is the name of the product. Then after the name of the product, I want to have what is the rate, what is the quantity, then I want to have the amount. So amount has to be displayed here for me, right? So for doing all these things, I need a button. So you click on this button. So what you call this button as calculate, okay? This is my button called the calculate. So this is my, I'll write the shortcut there. It's my product code. So this is my product description. I'm writing the shortcut there. Then, so this is my rate. I'm in any manual key in chestunna. So we are just keying everything it is. So the quantity, I'll write the shortcut QTY there. And then, so this is my amount that you need to type in. Sorry, now remember, amount is not keyed in, it is automatically calculated for me. Amount is automatically calculated, and I want to have a small change for my amount now. What is the small change that I want to have? This amount is data entry is, okay, here data entry is disabled. Okay, so data entry is disabled, and user should not type anything there, but it is, you can do the modification can be done to the record part. That's what you call data entry is disabled there. So that is calculated for me automatically. So when it's going to do the calculation for me, when I'm going to press the calculate button, right? So take a screenshot. Everybody take a screenshot for this. Okay, 1 second. You can also have some headings can be given. So let us say you want to give some name of the supermarket. Can you tell me one good supermarket name? No good supermarket than a Flipkart, right?
DMart, sir.
DMart you want to? Okay, we'll say DMart. Okay, right. I want to have the DMart supermarket. Right. So try to have some innovation. You try to do it. So screen design చేస్తున్నప్పుడు కొద్దిగా innovative గా design చేయండి, so that you can learn much better things, right? So మీరు innovative గా design చేశారనుకోండి, you'll understand how to use different types of controls, ఎలా యూస్ చేయాలి ఏంటి, CSS ఎలా యూస్ చేయాలి, all these things అన్నిటిని మీరు యూస్ చేసి ట్రై చేయండి. ఓకే, సో దెన్ ఓన్లీ యూ లెర్న్. మనం ఏదైనా మనం చేస్తున్నాం అనుకోండి, దాంట్లో మనం ఓకే, ఇంకొకటి మనం కెన్ ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ ది రీసెట్ బటన్ కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే, ఫర్ దట్ రైట్, మీరు ట్రై చేయండి. సో యూ ట్రై డిజైనింగ్ ది ఫార్మ్స్, రైట్? సో ఓన్లీ వెన్ యూ స్టార్ట్ డిజైనింగ్ ఇట్, యాజ్ ఐ సెడ్ యూ దట్, remember, if you start thinking, so you cannot stop thinking, right? If you are not thinking, so you cannot start thinking. It's a simple thing there. For example, if a bike, you started the bike and you started moving, you should be moving it. So without starting the bike, I'm thinking of starting the bike, okay, then I'll move, means you'll never move it. So something like that. Always remember, the brain has a concept, what you call, once you open your brain, it starts thinking. If you think that I don't know, then if I'm closing my brain, then what happens? Automatically the brain stops functioning. Stop functioning means it's not that physically stop functioning. It will not think. Okay, that's what I mean is that. Yeah, you can take a screenshot. You have taken a screenshot of this one. So what is that application that I want to design? This is the simplest application. This is the simple user interface that I want to design. Right? Done?
Okay. Okay.
So everybody has taken a screenshot.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So we are having 8 there on my on board, including me. Done, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I want to write a code for this one. Okay. So how do I write the code? We know that how to do it, right? Already we have seen. Can anybody help me how to write this code now? So I want to click, when I click on the calculate button, I want to do it. And moreover, if I don't want this entry to be made, I want to protect the data being entered here. I want to make this one as a read only. How do you make this as a read only?
Value equal to null and then read only.
No, not necessary to write value equal to null. No need to write the not equal to null. Sorry, not equal, I mean, equal to null is not required. Simply you can say read only. That is when I'm going to design my form. For the text box element, what we do is we use an attribute called read only. So when I say the attribute called read only, then it doesn't allow the user to type the data inside that. That becomes a read only attribute, or the control is going to be disabled for user for entering the data. So okay, entry of the data is not going to be allowed there, right? It becomes a read only. Okay. Yeah. So any other questions here? Any questions? The simple application you will try. The most simplest application you can try for me. Okay. Right. Then, right. Okay. I'll do one thing now. I'll just go to my screen there. I'll make some small changes. I'll just show you here. So the application that we designed is, this is my screen there. Now this one, the last one, I'm able to enter the data there. Now I don't want the user to enter the data there. I want to find out the biggest has to be done by my application itself. Then what I do, so this what we are writing, that input type is equal to text, right? So here I'll write read only. I'm writing it. I'm typing it as read only, saved it. Then I'm coming back to my application, my user interface screen. I'll just say refresh. Now I'll click here and I'm trying to type key in something there. Then enter చేయడానికి try చేస్తున్నాను. It's not allowing me to do that. But whereas here I can type something, right? So, but here I cannot type something there. So it has been disabled for the user. User came out on the data is becoming read only. That is, he can read only, but you cannot make some changes over there. అర్థమవుతుందా? So that is what, how do you make the control to be read only? See, it is there. I'm just trying to key in something. So I'm just trying to change. It's not allowing me to change. But it allows me to select the control. Control ni select cheyadaniki allow chestundi gaani. So control ఉన్నటువంటి data ni change cheyadaniki allow cheyadu. It doesn't allow me to change the data what is there inside my control. Okay. So that's how you make the control as read only. Done? అర్థమైందా ఎలా రీడ్ ఓన్లీ చేసాం మనం? సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ లెట్ us say this is the same application మనం ఇందాకైతే డిస్కస్ చేసామో అదే అప్లికేషన్ అనుకుందాం మనం. So instead of this first number, second number, so I'll just make small changes to my application. Okay, right, instead of saying this first number, second number, so I'll say this is rate అనుకుందాం. So this is the rate. I'll not use it as input type is equal to password. So I want to user to see in what is the data that you are typing in. Okay, then instead of saying this one as second number, I'll say it is quantity. Okay, no? So fine. Instead of saying this one as result or something like that, so I want to have this one as amount. Right? I said it is amount there. Now, when I click on the button, so okay, fine. I want to give the name of the button as not the biggest, but the message that has to be displayed as calculate. Calculate option I'm giving. Now, when I click on the button, we know that it's going to call the add function. It is going to call. I'll go to the add function. So in this one, I'll get the values of A and B. I want to calculate the amount there. AMT is equal to A into B. I'm writing. So there are no conditions for me there as such. So I'll make this one as a remark statement. For timing, I'll make this a remark, right? So I made that one as remark there. Now this amount, I want to display into the third element now. So I'll say document object dot get element by ID of N3. I gave the name as only N3 there. I didn't change any name for this one. So dot value is equal to AMT variable I'm giving it. Okay, I'll just save this, come back to the screen. I'll just say refresh, then okay, refresh, wait is, okay, I'll just say refresh if I have pressed. So some rate quantity I'm giving and I click on the calculate option. Now you see that it's going to do the calculation. So to have the simple calculations, I'll use the value 2 there, right? అర్థమైంది ఎలా చేసాం మనం? సో we need to build up the rest of the form. Rest of the form అంతా మనం డిజైన్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది. నేను సింపుల్ డెమో కోసం నేను ఏం చేశాను, I'm not using the product name, okay, code and all I have not done. I've just used this part there. Okay. Now we want to talk about the Flipkart like options, or what you call, people talk about you buy 2 products, you will give 1% discount. You buy 3 products, will give 4% discount. Like that, I want to have the conditions to be made. Then what I do, I'll go to my application. So in my application, I'll check what is the quantity that you are going to buy. So quantity ekkudundi manaku. So let's see this. So first one is rate, second one is quantity. That is, to avoid the confusion, what is rate, what is quantity, instead of using the variables like A, B, C, D like this, now I like to have a variable like R for the rate, Q for the quantity. It's a simple application coverage. I'll just go with simple variable names. I'll be going it. Okay. Now I found the amount there. Now I want to have the condition to be there. So like for example, what is the condition? We'll talk about the Flipkart conditions we'll talk about. So what is that condition they are given for us? Yeah, so buy 1, no discount. Okay, so discount is 0. You buy 2, 5% discount. Buy 3, 6% discount. Let me check now. So what I'm doing, I'm going there, I'm writing the condition now. So quantity is available for me in a variable called Q now. I'll check the conditions now. If the Q value is double equal to, you need to write. Understood? So when I'm going to do the condition checking, so if the value is equal to 1, means you write double equal to, you'll be writing it. If it is double equal to 1, then what is the discount that we'll be getting? So, okay, I'll use a shortcut name I'll be using, D I'll be using. It is equal to 1%. Okay. Then else if my quantity is double equal to 2, that means you are purchasing 2 quantity you are going to purchase. Then I'll say, okay, what is that we gave? Sorry. Okay, for 1 it is 0, right? For 1 the discount is 0. For 2 I gave the discount is 5%. Okay, then else if my quantity is double equal to 3, right? Then so my discount is equal to 6%. Now he says what? Let us say he says all the things for all the other conditions. Now if you are going to have more than 3 you are going to purchase, so my discount will be 5%. Okay, what is that we are given the last one? Okay, 6%, right? Okay, I'll say 10% of my discount, that I'll say. Understand what I did? So I gave the for all the above conditions, right? Whatever the condition is above 3, so I'll give 10% of discount I'll be giving. So I want to find out the discount amount. I'll say a variable called DAMT is equal to. So how does the discount is going to be calculated? Now let us say that I'm making a purchase for 100 rupees and then I'm giving a 2% discount. So then what I do? The amount into 2 by 100 you'll be writing it into 2 by 100. Now here it is not 2, but it is D value. I'll be writing it. D by 100 I'm writing. Understood there? So I'm writing D by 100. So I'll get the discount amount. Now what is it you need to pay now? Let us say that you are purchasing for 1000 rupees and he says that 5% discount I'm giving. So what is the discount you'll get now? I'm purchasing for 1000 rupees. What is the discount you'll get? So 1000 into 5 by 100. What is the
50,
value?
sir.
Huh?
50, sir.
Very good. We'll get 50. Then what is the amount you'll pay? 1050 or what is the amount you pay to the shopkeeper now?
950, sir.
950 you'll be paying. Sure it is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that means the amount, that is the net amount that I have to pay is equal to the amount minus the discount amount, right? So whatever the amount you got it, from that one, you deduct the discount amount, right? Then, okay, that is a net amount there. So the amount that you need to pay is my net amount there. So now what I do is to have the better understanding of the application, I would like to change my screen now. So what is that screen changes that I want to have it? So here I want to show the user what is the discount you got it, what is the net amount you have to get, I mean, all that details I'll add. Understood what I'm telling? So in this one, so instead of just calculating the amount and then doing it, so what we do is we also add. So what is the discount you got? That I'll show it here. And then I'll also show what is the net amount. Understood? You'll add the discount amount and net amount also will be adding it to the user. And so that the user can find out, okay, he'll be happy. Generally will be happy, right? By looking into the bill, he'll be giving on the bottom of your bill, you have saved so and so amount. So saved such amount you have saved. So like that, I want to have what is the discount we are going to get. That also I want to display it to the user. Understood what I'm telling? You understood what I said? No,
Sir.
that changes I'm not making it to my application. Just let us see that. Okay, I'll go to my screen. I'll just say refresh. Now I'm giving, okay, let us say my rate of my product is 100 rupees. I'm purchasing 3 products. I'm purchasing it. Default, what should be there? So it should be coming, the amount is 300, right? 100 into 3 is going to be 300. But I'm purchasing what? 3 quantities I'm purchasing. So I'm eligible for, what is the percentage? 3 is my quantity. So my percentage of discount is 6. That means when you say 6% of your this one, 6 3s are 18, means it should be 1.8, it should be, right? 18, it's going to be the discount. What is that wrong with it? No, then it correct it is 6 3s are 18, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
What about others? They're all thinking, sir, why we will to scratch your head and all. Supermarket guy will do all that, sir. No, we need not to worry about that. Yes, I understand that what you said is correct only. I mean, what you are thinking is correct only. But we also should know the basic mathematics, how we do it and all that. Okay, fine, no issues there. So let me use the quantity as 10 there. So when I say 10, to 10 into 10, it should mean 10 into 100, it should be 1000 for me. But what is the quantity that it is? It is greater than 4. You should be getting the 10% discount you're supposed to get. So that means, so 1000 minus 10%. So 10% of 1000 is, what is the 10% of 1000?
100, sir.
100. So your amount should be 900. Done? So the net amount. So what I want you people to make the modification is you should display what is the quantity, what is the amount, what is the discount amount you got it, and then what is the net amount you have to pay. All that you have to display, right? Understood? So this is the again small change in the application. So right, I mean, take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this application. This screen design you do it. Okay, done everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Any questions that you're not understood? Or sorry.
No, sir.
Okay, fine.